Okay, this is the Boundary Park City Committee meeting. We will be followed immediately after we conclude our meeting with the Transportation Committee meeting. My name is Jeff Galloway, I'm co-chair of this committee. Our chair, Justine Kucha, is online, as is our other co-chair, Eric Flores, and with me here in the room is Zach Balmer. I haven't pronounced your name. Betty Kay, Dr. Betty Kay, who serves on this committee and chairs the Transportation and Street Activity Committee. We have several items on the agenda that should not take very long to go through. Some of the items involve presentations by the Boundary Park City Authority. They have not yet arrived, so we will start with number 4 on the agenda, which is capital and expense budget items for fiscal year 2026. And on the screen, Zach has shown the budget items. Are these just carryovers from last year, or do these also include items that have been requested by one person or another for this year, Zach?
This is last week.
Okay. So there are, see, I think do we have all of them there? Okay, goodbye. Computer. So, over time reading that screen. Okay, I'll look up the link. So the items that I have, yes, the same ones that you have. And I'll read on the screen. First item is the request title is Other Affordable Housing Program Requests, and it is fund affordable housing protections in Boundary Park City and establish a program with the aim of increasing and preservation of permanent affordable housing in Boundary Park City. Gateway Plaza QRS expires in June 2030. The affordable units in rental buildings, including but not limited to 50 and 70 Boundary Place, are diminishing. Stop the conversion of buildings from rental to co-op in order to maintain rental stock and affordable housing. The agency response that we got last year was the agency will accommodate this issue with existing resources. I don't know these other, Zach, can you explain the various columns and what significance they have after agency response category, the code and the description?
The code, let's see if I can see what the codes are. Oh, the codes are in the legend. So you can see under review. Oh wait, those are the number codes. I think neutral is neither against it nor for it. And
I think all the words are neutral.
and all of these sort of are self-explanatory.
I'm fine with keeping them with this in for 2026. Any comments, questions? Justine?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I would keep it in for 2026. We always need more. This is the affordable housing one, right? Just I'm looking back and forth. We always need more affordable housing and we are losing it. So yeah, let's keep it and see what we can get. Because it also was a push to the Boundary Park City Authority to see what they can do when they're making their conversations with stuff, right? So yes, please.
We have Joe Pitcairn just joined us on our committee. Jeff Coleman, he's on ours, but he's on the next one. Okay, the next budget item, enhancing work programs with specifics to Gateway. And the agency response from last year was approval of this request depends on sufficient federal and state funds. Agency agrees with this request, but funding cannot be determined at this time. Seems to me this remains relevant and should be on there. Any comments, questions?
This is about the rent, stabilization?
No, this one's about New York.
Okay.
Newark, yeah.
Whether it be funding for programs relating to Gateway as Newark.
Oh, yeah. Very important.
It says it's positive and you will get from the agency.
Yeah.
You don't know anything.
Yeah, the second one.
Okay. That's
Uh,
helpful.
The third item,
I love, okay, go ahead, sorry.
well, go ahead. You have a comment, Justine?
No. I think I'm having a comment on the other, one. But the first one, the agency said agency will accommodate. This one, they're saying approval of this request depends on sufficient federal state funds.
Yep.
That's okay. Well, all right. And I think that question for you is with Scree and Dree passing and being applied to Battery Park City, does this do anything to help that? And maybe that is some push for, I mean, should we make a note of that that has passed? And then I
Yeah.
think the city council squeezed it in, right? And said that it
Uh,
applies to,
Yes, I believe I'm aware of some Gateway residents having qualified for Scree or Dree.
Yeah, registration.
do we need to reference it maybe? I don't know, or is it totally separate?
Totally separate. Funding is funding and the HBR, I'm sure knows about it.
I'm clear on why being designated a NORC, what kind of funding would be.
I'm unclear as well, but as I understand it, there are various state and federal programs that would, provide funding for senior activities. or
Right, but could you be,
communications or-
yeah, no, I understand, but the question obviously is, can you be, determined to be a NORC? And then funding, if it occurs or doesn't occur for these other programs, I think being a NORC gives you protections.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we asked for it.
That's why we want it to be designated, because then we can push for more, and actually, yes. But I guess they want federal and state funds is what right? What, did they say anything else on the side there?
We don't understand why being designated a NORC requires funding just for that designation.
Can I say for the sake of time, leave it on, everyone agrees on that.
Yeah.
One thing to put on the agenda soon would be to follow up on the questions Jill
Well,
had.
that was exactly it. Could we put on the agenda to go back to them and ask them to explain why simply looking for designation requires funding? Thank you.
Okay. So-
That's a good question. And who's them? Is that this, we go back to the,
Who's going to tell us we couldn't?
okay,
It's funds.
okay.
So that's, goes back to them.
Okay, the next item is funding for the redesign and reconstruction of Southland Avenue. As Betty had pointed out in her comments, that project is essentially dead. They may or may not do a new study of South End Avenue, and I think
Nix would know,
uh,
not this calendar.
not in this calendar year, which makes sense. They're going to be doing a ton of other construction in the neighborhood. So
I guess, go ahead, Jeff.
Take it out, which sounds good to me too. Justine, what you're trying to say?
yeah, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So yes, because Nick said obviously they're doing resiliency first. So I guess maybe if we make a note someplace though, to bring it back up again for 2029, 2030. No, Tammy's saying, you're saying no, because yeah, my feeling is if we don't ask, we're never gonna get it. But go ahead, Tammy, you speak.
Want it anymore.
Oh, I can't, actually, Jeff is the chair at right this point, so I can't call on you.
What I was starting to say is that I think it's premature to say anything about it because I think the general thrust of the sentiment of the committee a year or two ago was that the old plan, which predated the pandemic and predated, massive change in the way deliveries take place and the uses of taxis and so forth, that the old plan was completely irrelevant to the new world. And it was unclear whether that was a high priority anymore to redo it. It's something we could certainly take up again and decide whether it's a priority, but I don't think we know enough one way or the other whether we care about it. Tammy, you have your hand up.
So I think that there are opportunities that we actually should be asking for a new traffic study for the area, no matter what is going on with the Battery Park City Authority and their other projects. DOT is doing micro distribution centers, and they installed that giant city bike rack and other things. And it might be an ideal opportunity to have a study done for the driveway that's unused on West Street. What could be utilized with that? Maybe that could be turned into a center. Maybe that could be turned into recharging stations along the, that way. I mean, I don't think that we take South End Avenue completely off, because I think if once it's dead, it never comes back. And I think there's other opportunities we can ask for it just for a study. Because Gateway's changing their, they added a stop sign at the end of the Gateway driveway. That was through DOT. They're at a crosswalk. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe instead of the plan, it's something new and different.
So we want to ask, so you're suggesting that we ask for funding for a traffic study. Does a traffic study automatically imply looking at both pedestrians, and bicycles, and automobiles, or do we need to be specific and asking that those elements of transportation be looked into?
I think that we asked DOT to work with to formulate a study how to improve safety in the corridor. I think that's the best way to do it. And we need an updated one. It's been 10 years.
And do we want to say South End Avenue?
Yeah.
And that's, okay. South End Avenue, the original one was from, did we specify? Yeah, from Liberty to West Thames. Okay. Which is all of South End Avenue.
Which is all of South End Avenue. And if I'm raising my hand badly and jumping in, I will say that there was pushback on some of the work that they were talking about trying to do on West Thames, that people, I mean,
That's why I don't want to list West Thames. Let's just talk
yeah,
about.
I was gonna say, I would ask you almost to stop it at Albany Street.
Let's not stop it. Let's leave it where it is and have them come back to us. It's a different situation where we are now. So
Do we
let
have
them
to
come
put
back.
that word location in with or that H, or we don't put that? That was just for us to know what we're talking about.
I don't know. So, Zach, do we need, if we say South End Avenue, knowing that it's only a 4-block street, is that sufficiently fine? Or do we need South End Avenue from what to what?
Or just say all of South End Avenue.
Say all
Okay.
I have a question, yeah, and it may be a non-question, is all the construction that's gonna be happening, what's the impact on South End Avenue, if any, and do we need to be aware of that?
That's addressed in the EIS, but I don't remember the answer. But the answer is yes, it will.
Okay, but it's very separate from this.
It. Okay, so we're in agreement to basically recast that item as traffic study for South End Avenue. Okay. Next item on the existing on the list is develop improved ways to identify specific locations in parks that are solely under the jurisdiction of EPCA for better targeting of service requests via 911 and 311. I think this was generated from experiences of some residents, maybe even board members, that when there were issues along the Esplanade and various places in the parks, and they call either 911 or 311, nobody knew where they were. And what would be additional information from the community board? So we need to, I think we should include this, but recognize that we need to discuss this with the authority, which was the comment to pull back next year.
Didn't we do a resolution on that? And I don't know if it was, you don't recall, I don't know if it was BPC committee or if it ended up having to go with the, I don't know if it was transportation or quality of life. but I seem to think we talked about it at length. So we do have guidance, I think. I don't know. Zach, with our new system, can we research it and just ask about, and find something about this topic?
It's not up and running yet. But we might have talked about it at the last budget.
That's right. That's what I was about to say, is that I honestly, I do remember discussing it, but what I don't remember is whether we discussed it outside of the last budget request, discussion.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Okay. Any other items that we should, add to this, list? Jill and Jess, before you arrived, I had asked about whether we had an item relating to traffic enforcement. I guess maybe we did discuss that when you were here. I don't know. But that item is in the general request.
In the past, we had talked about that, we had talked about
Yeah.
that.
Quality of life has put in a request to fix that up. We may very well, if we have specific issues in Battery Park City where we think we need better enforcement or better law enforcement presence, we should consider doing a resolution addressing that.
Yeah.
In terms of budget, there is a general budget item addressing that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other items to add to our budget requests? Fortunately, Battery Park City is, generally speaking, well-funded from other sources besides the city, so we don't receive any requests as other areas might need. All right, we have some items where the Battery Park City Authority needs to be presented, but I do not see them.
So I am texting with Nick right now. I'm gonna ask him well, actually, Nick, if you're online and you are one of the people on the phone with the 646 numbers, just raise your hand, which is what, *3, *6, something. But he was thinking our meeting was Thursday, is what he's telling me. So they're not, yeah, I think we're gonna have a very short meeting, which is probably a good thing, but he will call in, he said. So let's see. Are you I'm gonna say on. So yes, I thought that was weird that they weren't there and nobody's there. So he's not gonna get anybody else, I don't think, but I will let him speak for himself.
Yeah, we have a weird calendar this month because of all holidays and so forth.
Yes, he's apologizing profusely and I feel badly because, yeah.
Christine, do me a
Yes.
favor, invite him to come to exec, because we do want to hear what's going on for public record with the ball fields. It
Yes,
came
we
up at
do.
the board meeting. So
Okay.
it'd be really
Oh, he's
important that-
here. Okay, he says he's here in the meeting, so let's see. Do you see him? Let's get him in. I'm here, but I don't see you. What number? Okay, sorry.
Zach can move people up.
647, okay, the second one, 737 number. Is
Waiting, I have a question. Do we need to get more members for this committee?
people are sick, so Eric, we do need to get more members. Gabby emailed me and said she's stuck at work and she can't get in. Sarah had her tooth pulled out or some horribleness and she's trying to get online but having trouble. Oh no, she's in. I see her now. So she may or may not have a medical excuse. I have no excuse, but I'm here. I'm here online. And Eric is, because the date change, he's with his kids, and his wife is working. So all sorts of craziness, but yeah, it would be nice to get more people.
Yeah, do we have any,
We do. Marion Roverman, and I bet you she forgot about tonight too, that it moved.
It
Yeah,
just must have been a weird schedule.
it is. I mean, we normally have pretty good attendance.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And it's the first.
Yeah, we do, but yeah. So, okay, so, Nick, you're here. I think, yes, you got moved over, which is wonderful.
Not always.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Jeff. He's in the room. You're in charge. I'm shutting up.
Well, I was going to say the same thing that you were about to say. Nick, you're here. Yeah, I don't know if you have the ability to summary report on any of these items. We understand if you don't. But as Tammy indicated, on the ball fields, we did have considerable interest in the full board committee about the status of the ball fields work. And so if it were possible for you to present at the executive committee on the ball fields, that would be great. Zach, when is the executive committee scheduled? So I may have that in my calendar.
Thursday.
I want to say it's the 17th, but I'm not positive.
Or
It is.
youth, or youth and ed would be an appropriate committee for this discussion as well, because it affects the schools, the leagues, all of that. So I'd
He's
offer,
not ready to present right now, right?
no, so let's give him 2 opportunities so we can have it be a robust dialogue and he's not trying to, do a tap dance.
Nick, because you're on the cell phone, which you normally are not, I don't know if you know how to unmute yourself, but Zach will unmute you. I'll send you a request. I think it's a 737 number. I think.
Can you hear
Yes,
us?
that's,
Hi-
yep.
Yes, hi there. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, I'm so sorry. It actually makes me feel a little better, as weird as it sounds, that half the committee also was confused about the date. My apologies. I was thinking about it today as I was working on my draft of the report, and I said to myself, I'm old enough to remember when the BPC committee meeting used to be on Tuesday nights, and then we moved to Wednesday nights, and then we moved to Thursday nights. And when I saw Zach's note come across, I almost passed out, so my apologies. But yes, if it makes sense, Tammy and the group, I'm happy to do it at exec, when I can have a more kind of fulsome presentation. I was prepping on getting some things in order for what I thought was going to be Thursday evening. So I'm happy to do that at the date. I guess you said it was the 17th. What date was it?
Nick, you have 2 options for the ball fields. You can do the youth and
ahead.
education committee this month, or you can come to executive. Either one works. We have no meetings on the holy days for the Jewish holidays ever. So yeah, and yeah.
What
So-
are the dates?
Or I can connect with Zach offline.
Exactly. I think that's best, and make it work with your schedule is fine.
Okay. All right. I'll connect with Zach and make sure that we find a date that works. We'll be there in person and we'll go through the latest of what we have.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
I did
Thank
want to
you.
make sure though, no, and thank you all. I'm I am mortified and very, very sorry. My apologies.
We understand.
I did have Jackson on though, so you guys met Jackson last month in place of Pat, who's kind of been out for a bit. But Jackson, I think, might be on or should be calling in soon, and if it pleases the committee, he can do a quick run through of his stats. I don't know if he has the stats ready also because we were pulling those together, but he's available for security presence if that's something that the committee is interested in. If not, you guys can obviously move on. Whatever you think makes most sense for you all.
No, that's fine. So I think he is on, I think we've just elevated him to participants. So Jackson, if you.
Good afternoon, guys. I'm actually still getting the numbers prepped. And if you guys give me like maybe 10 minutes.
No, we can catch up with the September statistics at the November meeting. So don't worry about it.
Okay, no problem. Because I know I was just informed last minute. So I'm trying to get everything ready now.
Oh, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Does anyone have any security related questions? Tammy, go ahead.
Sorry. Hey, Jackson, and welcome, and back to Nick. I attended a meeting at PS 150, which encompasses families from Battery Park City, and there was a large amount of concern that was raised with city agencies at the time about the park's enforcement presence around West Thames, especially as the new shelter at 105 Washington is now open and is starting to staff up not only staff up, but Jackson, it's client up. I don't know how else to, say it, but so I would really appreciate if when the ambassadors have the opportunity and they're going in and out of the office that's at the building right there, that there is a larger presence and that they're looking to ensure, because we have had reports lately that and I don't know why they're not reporting it. I can't even explain that. That they have seen larger presence of homeless people inside the children's playground, which is not legal. An unaccompanied adult is not allowed inside a child's playground in New York City. So I'm telling you here, I did let Nick know that the topic came up at the meeting last week as well. Just eyes wide, eyes open, have the ambassadors understand and know, and would love to get the team hooked up with the outreach coordinators for that property so we can make it a more seamless transition for anybody who's homeless in the neighborhood to try and find a bed.
Of course, yes. We actually are now in communication with the outreach program, and we definitely will have more presence there with the ambassadors for sure.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for flagging the issue, Tammy.
Just
Had somebody else thank you, Jeff, but I think, Nick, if you have something, go ahead and you can interject.
No, that was it. I wanted to thank Tammy also for flagging the issue. He texted to me, and we spoke with Jackson, I think, on Thursday and Friday, and they're plugged in there. They're also plugged in with Ed Drippick at the Downtown Alliance's homeless monthly meetings. Pat was attending those. Jackson's going to be attending those going forward. So we're keeping tabs on it for sure. And we'll fold those updates into our forthcoming reports as a general matter. We know that this is an increasing topic of interest and concern for folks, and we want to make sure we're staying right on top of it.
And then just, I think when you come in November, if you can talk about and elaborate a little bit more for the community so the public has a better understanding. I do know that there are different groups that both the Downtown Alliance and the Battery Park City Authority has worked with in the past to get homeless service attention. And we'd like to kind of have a discussion on how those overlay, how they connect, and what kind of connection you're going to be able to establish with 105 Washington, because that is supposed to be priority one for the local homeless to be helpful. And I know that when you're not, the ambassadors don't go beyond the park line at the edge of Wagner, but all through the construction site area where you guys are working, there's, people on the street side.
Understood. Yep, 100%. At 105 Washington is going to be a new work stream for us to make sure that we are monitoring and making sure the folks are there or are available or aware of the resources available, and the folks in the neighborhood understand kind of what the role is and that the impacts are kept minimal.
Great. Love that. Thank you for the partnership with the agencies. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you all.
Thanks so much. And thanks, Tammy and Nick. And Jackson and Nick, I guess my comment was just that I had been approached by a bunch of parents whose kids live along Rector Place, mostly from Liberty Court. And they were concerned that there does not seem to be a presence of ambassadors in Rector Park at all, not Rector Park, West Thames Park. So the grassy area as well as the playground. So now Tammy brought up the playground, which was wonderful, but I really do think that you guys need to consider, this is my suggestion, is to consider having someone posted regularly outside there. It's right outside their office, and it's crazy that they're not able to find somebody within a minute or a second of looking around if they need some help. And, whether it's a kid that falls down or there's a strange person loitering about, whatever the deal is, right? You want to have people there, and they haven't been.
No.
And I know they should call. They need to do more calls and more reporting, which is what I've said. But in the meantime, they like to tell me, which is a big joke. And Eric raised his hand too. I just will note, but thank you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
just on that, I know where, well, West Thames is right in front of our command office, so we definitely are, I'm always outside looking around, especially when the kids are there, me and my SPOs. We are definitely always there. We walk around majority of the time. We patrol the garden areas and everything that's here. If that is, yeah, West Thames is right in front of us. So I definitely want to say, at least I know on our end, we are there, and we do have them come inside all the times whenever there's an issue. We just had someone come in and speak on a little situation that happened today, but it wasn't big. So we definitely are there. Hopefully that can help them with us.
Well, yeah, that would be helpful because the perception, at least as of last week, the perception was that they're not. And, yes, they're off, they walk through, but they're not stationed there. And yeah, exactly. Yes, Tammy's face. I know you guys can't see the computer picture as I am. I can see it because I'm online. Yeah, we want someone watching. So someone stationed there who's doing the geotag regularly, but sitting there with their yellow jacket. You want the yellow jacket showing. So
What
yeah.
about all?
Yeah, Eric, you have your hand up.
Hi, I just kind of want to echo Jackson. I have seen them walking back and forth in that area, and then his building's right there. So usually whenever anyone has a problem or there's like an injury or the bathroom's there. But I have seen them not in the playground, but at the grass area in front of, I guess, Rector Park. I have seen people walk around there.
Okay, that's good. It's good to hear, Eric. All right, do we have any other questions or comments for Jackson? Hearing none. Thanks, Jackson, for signing in at the very last moment and being able to answer our questions.
You're welcome, guys.
Nick, and Nick, you're forgiven for mixing up the dates since half of our committee did the same thing. And it is an odd date this week. We look forward to hearing the report later this month on the ball fields. And I don't see anything else on our agenda. And so, absent any comments, questions from our committee members, we can conclude the Battery Park City Committee meeting. And Justine, you have your hand up.
I do, and I'll just be quick with it. And Eric, you're still here, good.
Yeah.
Eric brought to my attention earlier today that if anybody knows what's going on in front of I'm going to call it Southwest. Oh my gosh, what is it called now?
District?
So
No,
thanks.
I know what you mean. It's Blackhound, and
Yes,
there was a huge crowd out there today.
yes, and I was wondering. Treadwell, thank you. Sorry, I'm like a little brain spasm there. But Eric was saying it was like the huge crowd, they're spilling out onto the streets, and what was going on, and does anybody know?
I thought it was a private party.
You think so?
I thought it was a private party as well. I thought it was some sort of after work thing for somebody who works nearby.
If it was a private party, that's fine, but they had tables in front of the old pizza place, like lined up on the sidewalk, and nobody was regulating the sidewalk. It was blocked. I had to push through people.
Yeah, I had to walk out in the street with my dog. That's correct. So hopefully,
But I think
it's not a regular performance.
I don't think.
I think
What-
it's one of those.
I
Sorry.
haven't seen anything on that, but if you want to send me the details, I'll take a walk down there tomorrow, see if I can get in touch with the manager of the place and find out what it was. I mean, obviously we can't undo what happened, but we can certainly let them know that the next time they want to do something like that, obviously they need to ideally give it the heads up, but what they certainly need to do is make sure they're getting the appropriate approval to put furniture out in the street. They can't just do that without, without any warning or, heads up whatsoever. So send me the information. I can follow up with the manager.
Because they do have the side area where they have tables that's allowed. They have
They're
their
not
front
supposed to
porch.
be on South End Avenue.
No,
and
they're not.
They're not
Right.
allowed to go
Right.
past their landline. That is against the
Yep.
DOT rules.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
send it
something
to
to
me.
follow up with.
And in fact, the Albany Street side was empty, as was most of Treadwell. So it appeared to have actually been the Black Hound that must have been the location, although they're the same owner, they're basically the same operation. But it was kind of odd that South End Avenue sidewalk was completely blocked, whereas Albany Street was completely empty and nobody was sitting at any of those tables or in the outdoor
That's
sidewalk
weird.
area.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah,
It's all the Merchants Hospitality Group. I'll get in touch with them.
Thank you. Thanks for following up, just to let them know, because it shouldn't happen again. And like you said, whatever, it happened now. Hopefully it's not still ongoing, but we'll see. Thank you all. That's it. Now I'm done. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right, well, that concludes Battery Park City Committee meeting, and Betty, welcome. Where are you?
Actually, I think, ask Zach, I think you need to stop the recording, end the session, and then start a new one so we can have two separate YouTubes.
So just to clarify, Betty, you're suggesting that you'll start at 7? I mean, other,
Start before 7.
okay, it's transportation, so those of you online, transportation will not start before 7.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, guys.
Thank you.
Zach.